Old scoop, new scoop. Okay, class, what's the difference here? Okay, here's what I can say. Go home and take a shower, because if this was smell vision and you could smell me right now, you would have left this video a long time ago.
A vlogging we will go, a vlogging we will go. Hi, low, I do not know. A vlogging we will go.
Good morning, guys. I just left the gym, and it has been a really productive and interesting morning. To the gym this morning, even though I still feel like complete poopy, but I just can't be out of the gym anymore. But anyways, I ran out and I didn't order it online because I didn't. And so I stopped by this like regular, you know, normal, it wasn't a GNC, but it was more like a neighborhood, you know, supplement shop or whatever. And anyways, I asked him, I said, you know, this is probably a silly question, but do you guys have vegan protein powder? And he was like, I don't think so, let me check. And anyways, he walked over, and for the first time, somebody actually said something kind of interesting to me with respect to being vegan, as it does get super frustrating. For example, yesterday I was at Walmart, I was grocery shopping, and I was grabbing cumin, and there was the guy that was doing the spice rack. Anyways, I asked him, you know, do you guys sell the turmeric in the bigger size? Because he was stocking for this brand, and started recommending, oh, you know, hey, you can eat this spice, you can put this on steak. And I said, oh, I don't eat meat. And he said, okay, well, I mean, you can put it on chicken. And I was like, I don't eat chicken either. And he was like, all right, well, you can put it on fish. And I was like, I don't eat fish. And he was like, well, Jesus Christ, what do you survive on? Flowers? Yeah, that's what I survive on, flowers. And I handled it pretty gracefully, and I was like, yep, flowers and beans, and you know, if you just set me loose in the wild, I'd be perfectly fine. It's like that's socially acceptable to say whatever you want to a vegan, whereas like if I said to a meat eater, oh hey, are you enjoying your murder burger? Boy, everybody would be up in arms about it. I just think it's just kind of funny. But I appreciate that it mostly just comes from a place that people just have no idea, just have very little exposure to vegans. Back to the guy at the vitamin shop, said, you know, the thing about the vegan protein powder, and he said, well, let me go check. And he starts reading the back, and he says, well, it has whey protein in it. And I was like, yeah, whey is, you know, basically a milk derivative. And he was like, he goes, you know, it's kind of fascinating to me, the whole vegan thing. And I said, well, how do you mean? And he said, you know, I don't know anything about it. And he said, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? And I mean, I just about fell over, because, you know, here's this, he was a younger guy, maybe, you know, mid to late 20s, very good looking, by the way, totally unrelated, sorry, can't help but not notice that. And he, you know, he asked basically, you know, what does it mean? Why did you stop eating meat? How do you meet your protein requirements? Blah, blah, blah. And he said the most interesting thing to me when I give him all the information, and we're having this conversation for about 5 or 10 minutes, at which time, oops, there goes my Vega Sport onto the floor. It's closed, don't sweat it. At which time he says, you know, it's funny because I know a couple people that are vegans, but I would never have asked them anything because they're kind of, you know, very judgmental and pretty hateful. And I was like, wow, let that be a lesson to anyone who's vegan and walking around, you know, with your nose up in the air or on your high horse, that people are interested, even if they have no desire to become vegan themselves. People are definitely still into like, what is the whole thing about? And they're not going to ask you if they think you're going to be judgmental about it. You know, chill out. Anyway, the vegan protein powders are not inexpensive, but it does account for 2 of my 6 meals every day. It's like $100 every 6 weeks. But again, it's 2 of my 6 meals every single day. But it was buy one, get one half off. And I can't like pick it up right now because I'm driving. I don't want to kill myself. At the, oh, hold on, we're at a red light. Well, I can only show you one because the other one went flying off into oblivion. But this is the new one. Ta-da! Supposedly Vega Sport Performance Pro, both chocolate. One is the older version, and then the other one is the brand new version. Supposedly there's a little bit more protein in the new one and a higher Bcaa count. See, I'll taste test them in my vlog probably today, let you know how I feel about it. But I'm so excited that I have protein powder. Go home and take a shower, because if this was smell vision and you could smell me right now, you would have left this video a long time ago. This is the new one, Vega Sport Protein, blah, blah, blah. And it says, you know, 20% more BCAAs and glutamine and protein. Okay, and then, you know, the original or former blend, whatever. They're both chocolate, they're both sport, and they're both post-recovery shakes. But what I noticed when I was filling those cups was this interesting little trick that Vega and lots of companies do. And I don't know, I think it's deceitful and I don't really care for that. Because I've been using this for a while, I know what this scoop size is. Second I pulled this other scoop out, I was like, hello, scoop on steroids. Okay, now, old scoop, new scoop. Okay, class, what's the difference here? Try to line them up perfectly. Okay, the difference is one is a fair amount larger than the other, and so narrow by comparison that you could almost drop this one into this one. Not a fair thing to say that this blend has more protein, more BCAAs, and more glutamine if all you did was make the scoop bigger. That is called cheating. Back of this one, it says servings per container about 23. Scoop is 1.3 ounces. And on this one, they have a half scoop and a full scoop version. And so it says full scoop version is approximately 19 servings at 44 grams. And of course they don't have the other one listed in grams, so it's almost impossible to make that comparison. 44 grams for this one. And I know because I've weighed this one that it's like 30, I want to say it's 31 to 33 grams. The original version has 29 ounces. So it's 822 grams. It has 837 grams as opposed to 822 in the original. That is my preliminary finding on this Vega Sport. All right, guys, this is where the rubber meets the road. It is time to taste them. Dun, 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 dun. So we have old versus new. And my little setup is just 2 cups, 2 straws, and a measuring scoop. I think I accidentally mixed the cups up, so I don't really know which is which could be good and bad. Because that way, I mean, I know what the original tastes like. Both taste identical, no flavor change. If they don't, flavor change. That tastes like the original to me. That does not taste like the original. I know which is which now. That's the original. That is not. Let's do that again. The original almost has like a, I don't know, like a chalkier, that sounds silly, but flavor. Definitely a different flavor. So again, the old one, or the original version, has a very like earthy or kind of thicker, less creamy taste, but it doesn't have an overly like artificial sweetener taste. Whereas this new improved version has a much creamier taste, but it is much, much sweeter, and it has that very artificial sweetener taste. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this right now. I think after a full workout, I'd have to see how it sits on my stomach, but there's clearly a difference in taste between these two. All right, guys, a couple other quick things to note about this product review is that in the original version, you have 130 calories, and then 1 gram of fats and 25 grams of protein. And then on the new one, you have, for a half scoop serving, that is going to be 80 calories and 1.5 grams of fat 115 grams of protein. And then for the full scoop version at 44 grams, that you'd have 160 calories, 3 grams from fat, and 30 grams of protein. I looked it up when I was done filming. 58.77 for the original, and if you'll see right here that its counterpart in the new blend is 41.79. I'm in no way sure that I understand that. That makes me question the integrity of the ingredients even more, to have such a substantial price drop, unless they're trying to encourage people to adopt the new blend versus the old blend, which is of course a pretty standard tack.